Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Excuse me. My name is Dan Daher. I am the project coordinator for supporting inclusive practices, and I am joined by my lovely colleague, Celise Heron, program specialist with the project and my partner in crime. So it is lovely having her with us. Just a couple of housekeeping items to mention as we get started this afternoon. We would like to recognize and thank our ASL interpreters. We have Connie and we have Pamela joining us today. If you would like to access ASL interpretation, please find them in your list of participants and pin them so that they are visible to you if they are not already. We have our presenters, our facilitators for the afternoon. If you would, please ensure that your device is kept on mute. We do encourage you to engage in the chat. If you do have a question, please feel free to unmute and ask your question. And we will have a question and answer opportunity at the end of our time together at the end of this session. This is session 3, and we are joined once again by our colleagues and partners and friends from Moore Park Unified School District. And with that, I will let them introduce themselves and take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa LaBelle, and I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction for the Moore Park Unified School District. And I'm here with my partner, Lilia. I'll let her introduce herself.
Good afternoon. Good to see everybody. Lilia Magana, Director of Special Education for Moore Park Unified.
And Lily and I have been working together for almost 5 years on this journey of inclusion and co-teaching. And today we're very fortunate to have 2 of our top-notch co-teaching partnerships here with you. We have from Moore Park High School, Jolene Steele and Lisa Lewis. And from Chaparral Middle School, we have Robert Galletley and Troy Steele. So I believe our ladies are up first.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Lisa Lewis. I am a chemistry teacher at Moore Park High School. I've been teaching chemistry for about 13 years. We consider me the content specialist. And here's my partner in crime.
And my name is Jolene Cedre. I'm the special education teacher, and I've been at Moore Park High School for 4 years, and we teach chemistry 10th grade, and we've been co-teaching for 2 years.
And Melissa introduced her as Jolene Steele. She's not officially changed her name, but that's her wedding picture.
Yes.
For when she was married to Mr. Steele, also presenting today.
So a couple things. Our partnership is great. The classroom environment is amazing, but it's definitely evolved over time. And with direct instruction compared to individual or group setting support is very important for us. We're constantly on the move. We're constantly moving. One person's at the front, one person's assisting. We switch roles, things like that. I think that makes the classroom flow very, very well. Communication is definitely our common goal and a positive environment that we set up for the kids while they're learning in the classroom.
Yeah, so we definitely share that common goal, and that helps us work together. But as she mentioned, the partnership has evolved, trying new things and doing well, not doing well. But communication is a very, very important part of that collaboration, being able to discuss things and work things out and decide who's doing what. We're lucky this year we have a common prep period, so we're able to meet this year on our prep period. But we actually also meet after school. We sometimes connect outside of school. We're texting each other about things, and then even in the middle of class, something happens that in our control, students don't get it, then we're like, okay, sidebar, what can we do to make things a little bit better? How can we adjust to meet whatever's happening? we have, the way it's evolved, we don't really have set rules of one person doing grading, one person doing all of this. It's really, okay, so this is what's happening today. Jolene has a bunch of IEPs, so I'm going to do the copying, or she's going to set up the Canvas instruction. So we just kind of decide who's doing what based on what other stuff's going on. And that's has worked really well for us. Just sharing the work for everything. Okay, let's switch to slide. So as Jolene mentioned, one thing that we really share in common, which has really helped our partnership, is that we really believe that the classroom should be a very positive atmosphere. We want students to feel safe in class, feel comfortable. They can ask questions, make mistakes without any penalties, you know, or being made fun of or anything. And we're pretty successful at that, we think. Some of the silly things we do to help foster that is we do dumb jokes a couple times a week, which the kids eventually appreciate. They know they're dumb and usually moan, but they do appreciate them. Yeah. We also recognize birthdays just to help foster the community feeling in the classroom. So when before we even started, we went to a training about, you know, co-teaching models, and we've kind of dabbled in all of them. And so we really don't use one model. It depends on what's happening. And again, that's kind of has evolved as we've kind of worked through this for the past couple years. We're both in the classroom, we're both active, usually standing up, almost always standing up in the classroom. It just depends on who's standing where and working with what kids. So sometimes we have direct instruction. One person's in the front doing direct instruction. The other person is working with our kids who are off task or confused or, you know, just zoning out or whatever. Sometimes we do stations. Jolene will take a group, I'll take a group based on, you know, who needs what. Sometimes we're trying to do more student-led assignments like the POGLs, where students collaborate with partners or a small group and work through it, you know, on their own, but then we can walk around and help students, you know, get where they need to go and make sure that they're working with their partners and group members correctly.
And then as far as teaching practices, we do a lot of different things. And one of the first things that we do is we do frequent formal and informal checking for understandings. So that could be an assessment, that could be an exit ticket. So that gives Lisa and I an idea of where the kids are at as far as the unit that we're working on. UDL, Universal Design for Learning, is a big deal. It helps everybody, not just a specific group of kiddos. Guided notes has been extremely effective in the classroom for us. And what we do on the PowerPoints is we bold and underline words that are implemented within the notes so the kids know exactly what they're doing. In addition to that, graphic organizers are a great support when it comes to writing. We do articles that are connected to certain scientists or different parts of, you know, different times involving science. So that helps them a lot as well. Cheat sheets are our form of self-generated notes for tests and quizzes. The kids utilize those very much. That gives them an opportunity to have notes and use them on the test, and that's everybody. Again, not just a specific type of a group of students. Technology, we definitely use for sure. Kahoot is the most popular one. Nearpod, we use those for check-in. So either before or after break, we check in with the kids how they're doing. In addition to Jeopardy is very fun. They enjoy that. It's very interactive. The classmates, they talk with each other, you know, they come up with the answer and they get points, and then we pass out little prizes for them, which is an incentive. And then labs the kids love the labs. We have hands-on labs. I would say once every 2 weeks we do labs. We do them pretty often. And we also have manipulation labs, which is where the technology comes in, and the kids also really enjoy those. Another big part of what we do is we reteach, and we do retakes for scores under 70%. So essentially, if we see that a kiddo is struggling, we'll tackle, you know, that group, and we'll say, hey, you know what? We want you to retake this. We want you to redo your cheat sheet and things like that, so they can get above a 70%. And in addition to that, we do alternative assessments. And an example that we did a 2-pager, and that two pager involved visuals for the kids to draw, and that still gives us feedback on how well they retain that information based on that unit that we learned. communication has been a big thing for Lisa and I think that I think with co-teaching, that's one of the big questions we get asked. If you cannot talk with your co-teacher, you cannot get anything done. So communication is definitely key for sure.
Right. So as we mentioned, you know, how we have developed this partnership has really come from a lot of communication. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Who's doing what? And just being able to have those conversations has been super helpful. The other thing is flexibility. So when we started co-teaching, I had been teaching for 11 years and I know the content, and, you know, I had my way of doing things, and Jolene is a special ed teacher with, you know, had been working with a different population. And, you know, if it was like, you're doing it my way or you're doing it her way, it would not have worked. And the fact that we were able to, I'm like, oh, this might be a better idea. This might be a better idea. Just that flexibility to say, okay, there is a better way to do it has made, I think, a big difference. It helps us work together. And I think it's been a really big bonus for the kids because, you know, things like guided notes, I had never done that before. And the alternative assessments we had never done. And that's been a great addition. And then again, kind of going on that, learning from one another has also been a big thing. And I think just be open. If you're going to be in a co-teaching situation, be open to what the other teacher has to provide, whether or not they have a lot of experience. So, you know, they just have different experiences, and that's all good. It's all good.
I think one of the biggest challenges, because of course with anything you're going to have challenges, but for me personally, you know, I'm not the content specialist, and that's another question I get asked a lot. And I think with that communication, in addition to learning from one another and that flexibility, that gave me confidence these past 2 years to be able to get up there and present the content, and to be able to trust Lisa and say, hey, you know what, this is what we're going to do. You know, I'm going to learn this, and I'm going to teach this. And I think that was the biggest challenge, you know, for me personally. And that rapport really helped me get up there and be confident and know the content, because I didn't specialize in chemistry. So, and also the co-teaching benefits not only just help and support special education students with IEPs, but CP, college prep as well. And I think that exposure is so important, because the kids have the opportunity to do labs, hands-on things, and have that text to connection, you know, that's the whole point of the curriculum. So I think that the kids, not only do they get the extra support, but they love that there's 2 people in there.
Yeah.
Out of 37 kids, there's 2 of us. That's about 17, 18 students per teacher. So, you know, we have the best of both worlds, and, you know, they get that support, and it's a great environment. It's been a good 2 years.
I just want to also emphasize the fact that the strategies that we've implemented, like the cheat sheets and the guided notes and some of the other things we've been doing, really have benefited the general ed kids as much, and sometimes if not more, than our IEP students. And I teach other non-co-teaching CP classes, and I'm using it with all of them, and it's been a huge, it's been great for all students in our classes. So that's been great.
I think co-teaching is a great, I think everybody should have it.
Well, welcome everyone. My name is Robert Galetli. And this is my partner in crime.
I'm Troy. I'm a special education teacher in the classroom.
Yeah, and we're here at Chaparral Middle School. We both teach both 6th graders and 7th graders. I am the general education content specialist, and Troy is the special education specialist. We've been co-teaching for 2 years now. This is our 2nd year together. So we over time have our relationship and partnership has grown. I know we first started last year into the education field, and it was that immediate connection of, hey, we both have the same ideas, we have the same goals, we have the same passions, to not only teach our gen ed kids, but to teach every kid that walks into our door, to provide that healthy relationship to provide it with each other. So I feel like it has grown over time. One of the big things we do is we share cell phone numbers. We text a lot. We talk all the time. You know, whether it's during our passing periods, like, hey, you know, where are we at? How are we looking? Stuff like that. We try to meet. We meet before school. We meet after school. We do quick collaborations during class time, depending on the student's needs. We'll talk and say, hey, what worked? What didn't work for the day? Where are we going tomorrow? What's our plan for everything like that? We go to the same meetings, we go to the same content level meetings, we'll sit next to each other in staff meetings. We're constantly, you know, talking to one another. And for responsibilities, it's a common agreement. We both work on it. We both grade it. We both grade the students' work. We both set up the Canvas course, direct instruction. We go back and forth. So it's not just, you know, it's not just the content specialist teaching everything, but it's also Troy can jump in and being like, oh, hey, we need to add this. When we do our station work activities, I'll pull, you know, 5, 6 kids at one point, and it's a mixture of kids. So it's not just, you know, all of it could be all gen ed and our special education students, could be all special education. We just like to, for our stations and for any of our activities, we just like to, you know, work with all of them together.
So then we collaborate in with what our collaboration instruction looks like. He'll give me the things that we're doing in class. I'll differentiate the exams if we have them or writing assignments. I'm always making graphic organizers or writing frames or sentence frames, sentence starters. We collab on grading. Robert will usually go in and grade them, and then I'll go back in and look at them one more time, just like, hey, I understand that you gave this student this grade. It may not be the best, but I'm going to give them a few more points because they put in a lot of effort doing this. It just didn't hit the mark. And we share grading rubrics all the time. What he uses, I'll use in my one SAI 7th grade English class, or I'll find something in my class and I'll give it to us, or we figure it out. We collaborate in making grading rubrics. Usually too, we use ChatGPT to help us make those rubrics. It does help with the technology, like using that technology does help us pave the way with some of those rubrics that we don't have to sit and we're not making the verbiage. We're making sure that the verbiage matches what we're looking for.
Right.
I want to say 40% of the time we're doing one teach, one assist, and we're flip-flopping back and forth depending on who's doing what. I could be up there teaching the direct instruction and he'll be assisting the kiddos. We like station teaching better. Like Robert might start doing direct instruction, and then we let the kids go into groups, and then I'll call about 4 kids. We're actually sitting at my little station right now. And those are the kids that I know that, oh, they got the direct instruction, but they probably might have a little bit of trouble getting started. And once I get them started, I usually say, okay, you can go back to your desk and I'll pick another 4 kiddos.
Yeah. A lot of our rubrics that we do, one of us will make it and then we'll print out a copy, hand it to the other person, and say, what do you think about this? How does this compare? So like, oh, we're doing a writing assignment. Here's the writing assignment rubric. What do you think? Take a look at it before we, you know, print it out and hand it. Just to you know, have that double check of, hey, did we cover all our bases? Hey, is it meeting the needs of all of our students?
And then our key takeaways for you guys is you got to communicate. You really do. Even like me and Robert don't have a common prep right now. So we're always meeting before school, after school. Oh, we have 5 minutes before the next class. Oh, you know, Robert has a lot of things going on at lunchtime, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, I go, Robert, we're going to have a meeting on Friday just to make sure that we're ready. And be flexible. there have been times where we have been in the middle of a lesson and we just go, nope. We pull a hard stop and we go, nope, sorry, this isn't working. Everyone do something else. Like, and we might have to take, we might tell the kids like, hey, me and Mr. Gillette need like 15 minutes. Please work on missing work, or, visit with your friends for 5 minutes. And then we're going to revamp the lesson because we noticed that all of you are giving a deer in the headlights. Like, we're like, wait a minute.
And we'll give each other a look of like, oh, this didn't work out well.
Yeah.
Oh, this didn't work.
And then just like Jolene and Lisa said, like, the co-teaching helps both general education students and special education students. So there's a lot of I have a lot when we're doing station teaching, or like I'm just like helping them out in a station. I had one day where I had 4 really high gen ed kids come over and we're like, I'm like, oh, what do you guys need help with? And they said, nothing, we just want the reassurance. And I go, okay, well, I'm going to give you the reassurance for 5 minutes and I'm going to tell you to go back to your desks. And so I can help some kiddos that do need my help. And then you just have to have fun while you're teaching. The students will have more fun in your class, want to come to school, want to be there. And then they'll want to learn.
Right. The amount of times we hear, we're so excited to come into your class today. We're excited to see you. Like, if Mr. Steele's running late, the class, like, I'll be in the middle of talking and the students will stop, look at Mr. Steele, greet Mr. Steele, and I'm like, well, okay, so now we lost him for a second, but then they'll come right back. So they'll greet either one of us all the time. And, it makes the learning more fun. The students are having fun while they're learning. They're not only learning from one of us and both of us. We like to remind students, hey, if one of us is busy, the other one might be free and they know the exact same thing we're doing. So not only come to me, but you can go to Mr. Steele too. He's right. We are always in the same room. They're always available to come to us. Emails. If I get an email from a parent, I shoot it right over to him. Same thing. So we're constantly communicating, constantly talking. Hey, what do you want to do?
Yeah, the students really like to go to Mr. Gillette before they come to me. All right, do you guys have any questions for myself and Robert, or even Jolene and Lisa?